This is the Mandalorian's Explosion Alex After Show, breaking down, discussing, and reviewing each and every episode of the Disney Plus original Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. My name's Dylan Blunt. Joining me, Ashley Helpley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here. Hashtag justice for Elmo best.
I gotta admit, I was very confused. I looked on Twitter, I saw your GIF. I went, Jar Jar shows up in a Bad Batch?
Because you didn't see it till today, or?
Well, I didn't watch it until this morning because I went to the movies last night. Then when I got home, I was fucking tired, so I went to bed, and I watched them this morning before work, both this and Mandalorian and Bad Batch. So I saw a tweet last night, and I'm like, fucking, what's Jar Jar got to do with anything? I just kind of assumed it was just a funny gif for I don't know. I was like, Jar Jar's not showing up.
It's also a funny shit.
Yeah, I was like, Jar Jar's not showing up in the show. That'd be.
Or did he?
That'd be ridiculous. But then when Ahmed Best showed up, I was like, that makes a lot more sense. But also, I never would have considered that to be an option of a thing. Anyway, we'll get to that in a second. This week's episode, chapter 20, The Foundling, directed by Carl Weathers, written by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Synopsis for this week's episode was Din Djarin returns to the hidden Mandalorian covert.
Covenant.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, fuck that synopsis. Overall thoughts on this week's episode?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. There's a lot of interesting elements. Obviously, the highlight being, we get to see a bit of Grogu's past and like how he escaped Order 66, which was a cool thing and feel like a weird tie-in. Specifically based on last week's episode where there's that one shot of them going right past like the top of the mountain that they showcased last week. It's like, oh, do we set up the whole last week's episode just so we could understand the backstory of that one piece of Coruscant? But yeah, I mean, that was really cool. It's fun to see Mandalorians going down, taking out giant monsters. And Jin being like a big pushing his son into sport. That's what this episode was about.
Typical dad energy is what it was.
Yeah, it's like
you get no choice. You got to play sport.
Come on, yeah. It's for your own good.
No, you can't be a dancer. No, you got to play a sport. You got to play football, son. You got to play football.
Listen, you can play your rocks, but on at least one Saturday morning, you need to play some football.
Yeah, fucking rocks after school, whatever. Your mum says you can play with the rocks. That's cool. But on the weekends, it's fucking football. It was an okay episode, wasn't it? It was a bit of pulpy, pulpy sort of adventure, I guess. I don't know. The main, obviously, Grogu's the main thing that happens in it, the flashback stuff. Otherwise, you've got the sort of building on Bo-Katan. But other than that, it's just like sort of a weird pulpy adventure where they kill a bird.
It's interesting that Jin is no longer the main character of the show.
Was he ever? I mean,
the first episode.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy, but
it was never
interesting though. And when we sat down to watch the show, this is so funny to think back to episode 1, right? We know nothing about Grogu. We didn't know what the show was, all this sort of stuff. Coming into it, the pitch and all the trailers was, sort of lone wanderer, Mandalorian. He's going to sort of, I always expected the show to be, just, it's cowboy vibes.
It's going to be the last Mandalorian.
Yeah, like
all other Mandalorians have been murdered off.
Yeah. But dude's going to be wandering around, doing bounties. He'll bump into different characters. It's sort of like, have real cowboy sort of energy. And, for the most of that first episode, that's what it has. And then Grogu shows up. And here we are. Several seasons later.
Yeah. It becomes a massive protect quest.
Yeah. Luke Skywalker's been here. All sorts of crazy stuff's happened.
Half the season was in another show. It's crazy.
half a season was in another show. An unannounced period of time passed. I don't know. I can't go an episode without joking about this. Yeah, there's I'll tell you number one thing that pissed me off about this episode. These motherfuckers.
Wow.
These motherfuckers. This is the way. I'll tell you what the way is. The way is if you're attacked by a giant crocodile lizard thing on the beach, move. Put up a fence.
If you get attacked by something enough times,
yeah,
that you know the pattern,
yeah,
move.
I can't
the
believe
caves.
it. This fucking bird fly. So, well, not mention that we've seen them get attacked once on the show, right?
Yes.
Cool. I'm thinking that going, you dumb motherfuckers. Halfway through this episode, Vez Chrysler, whatever, goes, last time they took someone.
Yeah.
What? Last time I took someone. So how many kids are we letting die around here, guys? Because I'll tell you what, this is not the way on my watch. Not the way on my watch at all. Because it's all like very serious that it's your son, but I saw a kid nearly get killed by a crocodile, and you're telling me at least someone else's kid got killed by this fucking vulture bird thing and fed to its children. But we didn't care about that kid because it wasn't your son.
I mean, the Star Wars universe is dangerous anywhere you go. So, I mean, you know. The real estate industry is very different in Star Wars.
These motherfuckers have laser guns and all sorts of things. Just dig that cave out to the other side. What's happening out there?
Moving that forge, I mean, it's going to be a real hassle. You know, they have to redirect all the posts. It's like, it would be really annoying to set up a new spot.
Also, think about
even though I suspect by the end of the season they'll be living on another planet.
Yeah, probably. But how also shit is Mando's dad, because the first time he shows up here that we see, he helps stop this giant crocodile thing from attacking people, right? He's like,
yep.
Grogu's like, gonna go fuck with these rocks over here near the water. He goes, no worries, mate.
Trust you.
Off you go. You'll be right.
I'm 100%, Grogu can take care of himself,
Fucking ridiculous. Let's talk about
Love
Grogu.
the crab rocks. I think that was it. I'm like, is he moving around with the Force?
No.
But then another part of my mind is, is there a giant sand monster underneath there that's about to eat him?
No, just some crabs.
Because, this is the planet, but no, it's crab rocks.
Just crabs, yeah. Just crab rocks, yeah.
I swear to God, I thought he was going to shove one in his mouth.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to suck one up right out of the rock.
Yeah.
I think he was just going to suck that sucker down, but he's turned vegan.
He got stopped.
Sometime between the unannounced amount of years between the show, he turned over a new leaf. He watched Okja and turned vegan. Grogu, right. So Grogu, this guy, let's talk about him for a second, because my one thing this episode is he has a paintball shoot off with old mate. And I didn't realize that he could shoot 3 shots in a row. So
that's what I'm saying. Didn't he cheat?
That's what I thought. I thought it was you had to shoot once, reset, shoot once, reset. So if that wasn't the rules, the kid was just fucking with him. But when the rules were explained, I thought it was shoot once, reset. Right? Next second, Grogu's like, I'm just going to flip over your head, come back, and pew, 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 I win. Like, I was like, I don't know. This isn't the way. There's a lot of... I'm very confused about a lot of things happening in this episode. Because much like the show's sort of written and, everything is a first draft, I feel like the rules for that competition were also never...
Well, I mean, you could definitely take it both ways, where the kid was fucking with Grogu, thinking he's not really a threat.
Yeah.
And then you also have Grogu showing off by blasting him 3 times. More likely, just holding the trigger down or just automatically accidentally.
It doesn't work. Like, if you take it like fencing, right?
Yeah.
1 point. You have to reset.
Reset, yeah.
You don't get to poke, you win. If you poke, it's still 1 point. You shoot him 3 times, it's still 1 point. I don't want to get into the weeds and say Grogu's a little cheater, but he's a little fucking cheater, I think. I think he's a cheater.
And the Mandalorians approve, so...
and the Mandalorians read. Cheating. This is the way.
This is the way.
There's a lot. It's just several things in the episode where I'm very confused about. Also,
yeah.
how? So they have this other scene, right, where they're like they're sitting around a campfire when they go on a little hunting party, and they're going to camp under the rock before they go take down the beast in the morning. And they do this whole thing.
Yep.
She's like, Bo-Katan's like, how do you eat? Oh, you got to go somewhere else. Take your helmet off. Nah, mate. I've seen you just shove food straight under your helmet like the little feral you are. But also, I was very confused about, I want to know how she signals it's okay for them to come back. Because you send me off of that food, I'm done in 2 minutes, right?
Some guy's like, is it all right to come back?
Yeah, well, this is what I'm thinking. Because and whose fault is it? Here's my next question. If you're this is the way, you're the leader, you've earned the right to eat at the campfire, and if you wander back into the camp at the wrong time without checking, and then you see Bo-Katan helmet off, is she in trouble? Or are you in trouble?
Should have heard him coming. You heard him coming. You know? This is the way.
That was the part. Yeah, I was
eating quickly in the world of Mandalore. This is the way.
I think that would stress me out, honestly. Like sitting there eating, knowing that someone could come back in any second.
And doom you from your religion. Yeah.
It's like eating.
Get you excommunicated.
Yeah, it's like she should have been like, nah, this is entrapment. I'm out. You do it. I'll go over there. Like I'm peeing in the bushes. You know? I'll go over there. It's fine. Anything else from the Mando side of things before we talk a little bit about the flashback shit?
I mean, I enjoyed the Free Solo crossover of them doing a bunch of rock climbing, using their I don't know, wire stuff
things. Yeah,
get out the top. As has been pointed out, it's kind of weird that they kill the big beast thing and then take the children.
Yep. This is the way.
I mean, I understand, there's an element of like, hey, we don't want to let these kids just starve and die off. But it is a little bit weird to, abduct the children.
There's two ways they could have. There's two ways they could have framed it, right? Characters come back, they go, we unfortunately had to kill the bird thing. We've decided to take upon the children to look after them because of what we've done. And you frame it as a sad, but they did the right thing to save the kid. You know what I mean? But the way the show goes is, ha! You're eaten by the big crocodile, fucker. We're keeping the kids. It's gonna train them motherfuckers. We're gonna ride them.
I mean, it makes sense. By the end of the season, they're going to be wearing a Mandalorian armor. Yeah. They're going to sell a bunch of toys.
I was going to say, it's all about toys. They're like, fucking.
Can you imagine little chick things with little Mandalorian helmets and their little beaks sticking out of the middle?
If they're riding those by the end of the season, they're the toys.
You'll be right, yeah.
Toys. I hope they do a toy. It'll be worth it. I hope they do a toy of two Mandos riding on top of them, and then down the bottom, you can buy their dead mother's corpse. Yeah.
That was weird. Also, it's weird that Paz Vizsla didn't mention it's his son until like the very end.
Yeah, we kind of...
Until he was like halfway in the nest. It's like, that's Beside.
Yeah, we kept it right, So I was saying, everything was no big deal about all these other kids.
Yeah.
Until it was his son. Little bitch.
It's not a problem until your sons get killed. You know how it is.
Yep. Flashback. Okay, so we get by the way, I think when Mando had his flashback to when he was a kid, it was also when he was staring at the forge. and it was being banged on.
Yeah, from memory.
So I know what the going on with that is. Just if it's just happens to be that way.
Magical Forge.
Magical Forge just knocks
Makes you
right
reminisce.
knocks you right into some.
It's a reminiscing forge.
Yeah. But yeah, so Grogu remembers Order 66. What do you think of this whole sequence?
I mean, it was cool. Like to see, other Jedis again. Cool chase sequence. Yeah, I mean, I guess it leaves it open to explaining even more, like what happened between him getting out and then him showing up in the start of the Mandalorian. Yeah, it was cool.
It was like fine. I feel like
I mean, he did take out those stormtroopers maybe a bit too, or those clone troopers quite easily. Considering they murdered every other single Jedi in the entire world. And now we've got another Jedi who survived Order 66.
he died.
And also, it's weird that they had a ship organized, I guess, like so quickly.
There must be something important.
When this was meant to be a surprise attack.
Must be something important about. Well, no, they say because one of those dudes say how many, and he says this is the only one. So it must. I don't know. Like this mustn't be like straight after the attack. This must be attack happens. Oh shit, we got to get the younglings out. Organize a ship. We'll go save some. They managed to save Grogu. It's the only one. Ahmed Best getting his flowers, I guess. With Star Wars is cool. Just like as knowing everything that he went through, the sort of internet bullying that was for Jar Jar and all that sort of stuff. It's cool to see him get a cool moment to be a Jedi. And yeah, he does take down a lot of clone troopers, but does make him look badass, so he gets to play this badass Jedi or whatever. Kelleran Beck. Beck is the
Kelleran Beck
is the name.
Did you know he's already appeared in Star Wars media before?
No, I didn't even bother googling it. So what was he?
He's appeared in Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge, a children's game show that you can currently watch on YouTube.
Oh, so is he playing the same Jedi that he plays on that?
Same Jedi.
Wow, okay. I didn't even think that would be a thing. Okay, sure. Funny. Yeah, so for people that don't know, Ahmed Best hosts this children's game show. It's sort of like one of those ones where you have to run through and do a bunch of challenges and like whatever. But it's for kids.
It's like Amazing.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, on Nickelodeon
Legend of
shows
the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, Legend of the Hidden Temple, any of that sort of stuff, but Star Wars themed. And he's the host of it. And I knew he hosted it as a Jedi, but I thought it was just sort of Ahmed Best in Jedi robes. I didn't realize it was like pretending to be a character. So there you go. That's kind of cool. There you go. So no.
Well, you just wait until next week when he pulls out his Jar Jar skin suit and puts it back over the top. And then pulls up his dark hood and he was a Sith Lord all along. It's going to be great.
What a swerve.
It's what we want.
It's what you want. Anything else?
No, I mean, I guess the whole Bo-Katan like sticking around thing is quite interesting. And then like her, like again, dressing her armor and like very obsessed with the whatever creature it's called.
Mythosaur.
And like being convinced, telling, the forged, the armorer, not really believing her, but she says she saw
that she believes
Mythosaur under.
That she thinks.
But she believes it's a vision.
She believes that she saw something.
She saw something, but not a real thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bo-Katan's just hanging around in the way that some of the shots are like portrayed, or however you want to put it. She's like looking around, being like, "There's a lot of people training here. There's a lot of Mandalorians here. There's
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because obviously she was at such a low point at the start of when we first saw her this season of everybody kind of deserted me and left me alone, and like I've got nobody. So being surrounded by people who accept her and
they're part of a weird
kind
cult,
of stuff,
but
like,
they're still Mandalorian, I guess.
Yeah, so
yeah, I don't know what her long.
What's the long game?
Yeah, I know what the long game is, just to maybe use them to help get back her planet. Don't know. Get revenge on the people that bombed her last hideout. I don't know. Wherever the fuck they. Still don't know what the go was there with the 1,000,001 bloody TIE fighters coming out of nowhere.
I mean, someone also pointed out that TIE fighters can't jump through hyperspace, so they had to have come from a Star Destroyer of some sort.
Yeah, so a Star Destroyer
It was around Mandalore.
Yeah, it was around there, yeah. Which is interesting, yeah. All right, thank you for joining us on this episode of The Mandalorians. You can find the show, of course, on explosionnetwork.com, and you can also find over there lots of other great stuff. You should check it out. Yes? Yes, sir.
Also, Grogu's giant piece of bling this week.
Flavor Flav!
What time is it?
His face literally goes, fuck, you kidding me? How am I supposed to move? Like,
this is like half my body weight.
Ridiculous.
I mean, this mesh armor it's enough. It's doing its job.
Fucking thirsty for those fucking Frodo bangers. And
do you think we're going to see Grogu in a helmet by the end of the season?
Nah, no way.
By the end of the show.
They will never put Grogu in a helmet. They want to make some money. They want to make some money. Although, they didn't realize how hard the internet was going to thirst after fucking Pedro Pascal, as they would have kept him out of a helmet too. Disney's like, damn, we didn't know.
Maybe by the end of this season, this cult will be like, helmets, this isn't the way. We fucked up.
Oh, we found a new chapter. Oh,
it's like, show your face all the time.
Yeah, it's all fine. We
love
reading
smiles.
I was reading it wrong. I was reading it upside down. The ancient text. Whoopsie.
Read it the wrong way.
Read it the wrong way, yeah. It's a manga. You got to read it right to left. Sorry, I was reading it left to right. Of course, also on the Holocron Entries podcast feed where you can check out this show. You'll also find The Very Bad Batch. We've got the season finale two-parter coming up next week. So if you want to hear our thoughts on that, tune in next week, tune in this week, tune in every other week that there is stuff to tune into. May the 4th is also coming up very soon, so I'm sure we'll be talking about some trailers and news coming out of that, and that'll all be on the Holocron Entries podcast feed.
Dylan, are we going to talk about J.B.A. Abrams left some sort of secret project?
Nope, I do not care. I do not care. If we did an episode every time someone left or started a new Star Wars project, we're putting out episodes every half hour. Follow all of our Twitters by heading to explosionnetwork.com/Twitter, and you can join our Discord, explosionnetwork.com/Discord. Until next week, we have spoken.
We're going to talk about how the Academy Award-winning directors, the Daniels, are going to be directing an episode of the Skeleton Crew show, which apparently they shot last year.